On the line this morning, we're fortunate to have our guest, Joshua McKeown. He's the owner of Orca Group Northwest, carpet, tile, and grout cleaning, and also they do power washing and working with commercial real estate property managers. Joshua, welcome to the program.
Thank you, Darren. It's great to be here.
And I gave just a little brief introduction there. If you could do the listeners a favor and expand on my introduction, tell our listeners a little bit more about you and Orca Group Northwest.
Sure, absolutely. Well, I'm located in the greater Seattle area. I do carpet cleaning as my primary focus, but I'm really focused on the niche industry of commercial carpet cleaning. So I'm really reaching out and working with property managers primarily as my number one focus. And I stick mostly within the Seattle area.
Okay. And obviously, carpet's a huge part of commercial properties or multifamily buildings. When you first, or I guess I'm just sitting there thinking, primarily, especially in multifamily, you've got when the tenant leaves, you got to make a decision. You got to get the carpet cleaned. You got to get, or if it's all shot, you got to get new carpet. What is the kind of the, I guess let's say you roll up on the scene and you got a tenant's moved out here. Is it easy for you to assess whether or not you can clean it or it's just got to be replaced?
No, it's pretty easy to assess if it can be cleaned. Most carpets can be cleaned. It's kind of a misconception I find that sometimes individuals see the carpet, they look at some wear and tear, they see some stains or soiling in it, and they're thinking they need to replace the carpet. After I clean it, they're usually very surprised at the results. The carpet can be restored to a tremendous degree. So typically I'm just going to look at especially the primary traffic areas, what is mostly a visual concern to the owner of the building, and from there I'll just apply the proper solutions and methods to clean it. But typically a carpet can be restored to a great degree.
Got it. And just as a cost comparison, if you were, comparing the cost to replace as opposed to cleaning, what's the spread there? Is it close?
Yeah, typically it's not going to be very close. The difference is going to be pretty substantial, honestly. If we're looking at a commercial building, and depending on the size, on the square foot, ultimately as it adds up, to replace a carpet is going to be thousands of dollars. Whereas comparing that to cleaning the carpet, if it's not too much, let's say 1,000 square feet, it's only going to cost a few or a couple $100s to clean that carpet. The investment in a carpet could potentially be around your third most expensive investment in a building, and particularly in a home, but even in a commercial building. So you're going to save a tremendous amount of money to have the carpet cleaned and maintained versus replacing that carpet.
What is a life expectancy on a carpet?
Well, they can vary greatly. Generally, they say between 5 and 9 or 10 years, but that could double. There's just so many variables. If we're looking in the Pacific Northwest, for example, out here, we know we receive a lot of moisture, rain, that equates to soiling, and it's going to depend on the traffic throughout that commercial building. But if you don't have a maintenance program in place for your carpet's obviously going to wear out very fast, and the visible appearance of the carpet is going to wear it out very fast. But if you have a maintenance program going on, you're going to extend the life of that carpet a very long time. So you could easily look at way beyond 10 years for your life of your carpet, which makes it very worthwhile from an investment point of view.
So how frequently should a property owner expect to clean the carpets? I'm thinking that most residential or multifamily landlords or property managers kind of tend to deal with it more on a turn basis. Is there a frequency that makes more sense?
Yeah, sure. From a residential point of view, it's going to depend on the homeowner or the property manager, but generally the recommendation from the Carpet and Rug Institute is once every 12 to 18 months. So that's going to depend, though, on your circumstances and what an individual wants. But generally, around once a year is what most residential homeowners are going to look at.
And equipment that you guys use, what do you use? Are you using portable stuff, or is it truck mounted, or how's that? How's
Like
that
a
work?
lot of things in life, there's a tremendous variety of equipment that you can shop for. The traditional equipment on the residential side is the truck mount hot water extraction method, and so that, of course, you use a pre-spray to break up the soils. Then you go in with your truck mount equipment. It's not portable, it's in the van. It's a very large, powerful machine. It applies the solution and it extracts it out, removing the soils from the carpet simultaneously. On the
Gotcha.
commercial side, yeah, on the commercial side, I have separate equipment for that. I use an encapsulation equipment, and that's self-contained. And so that allows the doors, if you're working after hours, for example, it allows the doors to be closed and locked because there's no hoses running out to your vehicle. So that's a tremendous advantage to an owner or property manager for security purposes. And this machine uses low moisture. So your carpets are going to be dry in 60 minutes or even around 30 minutes. They'll be completely bone dry. And this uses a method where it crystallizes the soils that are in the carpet fibers, removing them and breaking them free from the fibers, something that vacuuming can't do over time. And it leaves your carpets looking very clean, and it restores that shine again to them.
Gotcha. And what on a timeline? If you're cleaning an empty residential unit, two-bedroom apartment, what kind of time does it take you once you show up to complete a job like that?
Sure. Something like just a two-bedroom apartment, if you're looking at two bedrooms and you have a living room, for example, maybe you have a dining room in that, it's going to be around an hour or less. It won't take very long. And the carpets will be dry in 8 hours max, more like 4 hours completely dry.
Gotcha. You mentioned you work with property managers. Is it advantageous for a property manager to work with just one carpet cleaner? I mean, like yourself, to get. I mean, I'm assuming there's some sort of a benefit for both of you, in that there's a relationship and maybe some price break based on a volume of work kind of thing. Is that do you work on that kind of a basis, or?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, it's kind of a symbiotic relationship. I need property managers, and property managers need carpet cleaners as well. So it's a tremendous advantage to work with a property manager. Of course, they want to have at least one carpet cleaning company in their back pocket, per se. It's probably a good idea to have two, honestly. That way you always have a backup system in place, and it can depend on the volume. But yeah, as I build a long-term relationship with a property manager, I definitely want to give them very fair pricing. I want to be certainly available to them at every given moment possible. But it's a fantastic arrangement, really. As they have a carpet cleaning need, I can go out and take care of it, and we certainly benefit each other.
Got it. So tell me, you roll up on an apartment building. You're in your truck. What's the worst carpet you've ever seen?
Worst carpet I've ever seen. Let's see. Well, you know, owning pets or having pets as a part of the family out here in the Northwest is very common, and pets are a wonderful thing. Um, and the circumstances vary, but some pets are cleaner than others, more obedient than others. So sometimes I've seen some tremendous carpet damage from pets. It could be that they've gotten into even some food in the kitchen, they've brought it into the living room, and they've spread it out on the floor. Of course, there's other kinds of soiling that comes from pets. But that's a good point, because one of the challenges that some homeowners might not recognize is that the oils from a pet convert into a very alkaline product, and the alkalinity and sauce tend to set into the carpet fibers and discolor the carpet fibers. If this isn't removed within a very reasonable amount of time, a very quick amount of time, the fibers can actually be bleached out from the alkalinity and the oils of the pet. And so not all pet stains are actually removable from a carpet. So that can present quite a challenge. So those are some of the circumstances, though: food stains, coffee, soda, animals especially.
So, what's the worst carpet that you've seen that you've been able to bring back to, you know, I don't want to say new, but as good as you can, where the owner or the property manager was pleased?
Yeah, just recently I did a home, and the home owner had a very large dog, extremely large, very long hair. It was a very clean dog, but the carpets had not been cleaned in a long time. And the color of the carpet was a light brown, almost like a cream color. And the carpet from where the dog would lay or sleep had been turned almost black. It was so dark in certain areas. And the dog had gotten into some flour, cooking flour, things of that nature, and had a fun time with it. And after getting the flour all over the rug in a certain area, the dog would lay in the flour, and it just really caked into it. So it was a real solid product, and it really discolored the carpet all throughout the place. It was certainly a challenge. I wasn't sure what we were going to find at the end, but I attacked it with everything I had. And when I was finished, the homeowner came out. She had been in the kitchen with her dog, and she came out and looked at it, and she was really blown away. She said, "I can't believe it." She goes, "I was convinced I was going to have to replace my carpet and spend the money for a whole new carpet in my house, and now I don't have to, because she's now going to be putting her carpet on her house on the market for rent." And so she was extremely pleased with the money she saved.
So you can clean up from a baking dog. Is that the you've got a hot dog, the baker, huh? You can clean that up.
A dog chef. I was able
Yes, the dog chef. That's great. So I know some other ones. I'm kind of curious. So what's worse, red wine, pet urine, bleach, or candle wax?
They're all challenging. Bleach obviously is going to be quite the challenge, because bleach does to a carpet much like what might happen when we put one of our shirts in the washing machine with the wrong colors. It bleaches out the color in the shirt. It can be permanent. The same thing can happen to carpet fibers. The fibers can absorb the bleach, and it will permanently discolor it. Things like wine certainly present a challenge, but another real challenge would be the dog urine. Because of the alkalinity of the urine from the dog, that stain can set in the carpet and bleach it out if it's not removed within approximately 24 hours. So the odor can be removed, the carpet can be made clean again, but the coloring, the discoloration, that can permanently set.
Gotcha. In candle wax, have you got any tricks to do to clean that up?
I haven't run into candle wax yet, actually, but yeah, there are tricks to removing candle wax. Sometimes it may just be removed with the ordinary solutions that a carpet cleaner will use, but he can even apply a cloth over top of it. He can use an iron, much like you'd use for ironing a shirt, and you can actually, the best method would be to lift out the wax from the fibers instead of trying to wetten the wax, rather to just, in a sense, almost soften it, remelt it, and have it lift out of the carpet.
Got it. Is there a best color you can recommend for a landlord when selecting a color of carpet?
Yeah, that's a good question. It's really going to depend on your location, where you live in the country. I mean, if you live, for example, out in Moab, Utah, the soil out there is very red, so that's going to be a deciding factor in your carpeting. Here in the Pacific Northwest, we receive a lot of rain, of course, and so it might transfer into mud, but it could also just transfer into a dark gray water that comes off of our shoes as we walk into the door of a house or a commercial facility. So generally, if you choose a light colored carpet or a very dark colored carpet, your soiling, your discoloration is going to pop more. Whereas if you use a middle tone or a patterned carpet, that's going to be able to more effectively hide the soiling and staining in your carpet. So it's not going to, it's going to be there, but you're not going to notice it. So that can affect also the dollars you spend on a carpet cleaning program by choosing the color. It seems that when most people go to purchase a carpet, they are almost primarily focused on the color or the pattern over the purpose that the carpet is supposed to serve in that particular building. That can often lead to disappointment. Rather, by focusing on the purpose of the carpet at that location with the coloring of the carpet, you can likely have better results over a longer time, greater satisfaction.
Is there a style that performs better? Shag or loop, or I don't know what all the different styles are, but those are two that I know. Is there any recommendations? I guess probably more for the or maybe I'll let you decide. But I'm guessing the two would be a heavy traffic walkway in an office building as opposed to an apartment.
Yeah. There is a tremendous variety out there according to whatever the homeowner property manager might want to have. I've seen carpets made of artificial or polypropylene type products mixed with natural products in homes more per se, even wool or cotton. Those are more expensive kind of carpets, more delicate to clean. But when you're looking at a commercial facility, we see a lot of carpet tiles put down. These are squared off pieces of carpet that snap together. These are generally going to be made from artificial products, olefin or nylon. Nylon especially is very, very popular now. And these are going to work well with repelling stains, not absorbing stains as much. And these also are going to not be very difficult to clean. It'll be easier to lift these out. A lot of times what is recommended too, especially in commercial facilities, and we might see this from time to time, is when we first walk in, we'll notice one style of carpet and carpet color for the first maybe 10 by 10 feet, depending on the area, and then the carpet will change for the rest of the facility. This is a real smart thing to consider for a property manager when installing the carpet in the facility, because you're primarily going to have most of your soiling coming off the shoes within the first 7 to 10 feet of the entryway, and beyond that there'll be less. So by installing a nylon carpet, for example, or a darker colored carpet in the entryway, that carpet can be easily changed out without having to change out the entire carpet in the facility, because that'll wear out much faster.
Got it. And is there any specific better brand of carpet? It seems like a little bit I remember aren't they pretty well all made back in North Carolina, or am I thinking right?
You're in the right area. It seems that approximately 80% of the world's carpet are made around the area of Georgia, the state of Georgia. So yeah, down there in the southeast, but there is a tremendous variety of carpets and carpet manufacturing companies. Of course, there are some giants out there. Shaw is a very well-known carpet manufacturer, and there are a number of others as well that are out there. But at the same time, most of us will notice, even within our own local cities or towns, smaller carpet providers or manufacturers. And these can still survive despite the large monster companies. And a part of the reason for that is because of the large variety of carpet that can be manufactured now. Science and technology has really developed carpets into a wide variety, so that you could even choose a carpet, for example, that dispels static electricity. So if you have an office complex with a lot of computers and you need to control that electricity, the static electricity, there are carpets that manufacturers make to dispel that. Or if you have certain kinds of stains in a certain kind of facility that are going to be common, you can manufacture carpets specific for those kinds of stains. So this allows both the giant carpet manufacturers and the smaller guys to continue to coexist successfully.
Gotcha. I want to ask you more of kind of a question of for a property owner's, property manager's thought process. And what are some of the biggest mistakes that carpet cleaners like yourself make that can reduce the life of a carpet, or the life expectancy of a carpet?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, from time to time, and I've noticed this in the restaurant area, and other commercial areas, um, part of the mistake can be using the wrong equipment on the wrong location. For example, um, if I were to use residential equipment frequently in a commercial environment, that that could potentially cause a problem down the road. The simple reason would be that residential equipment uses high pressure and uses high volumes of water. And so you're flushing a lot of water down into the carpet and into the backing. That water needs to be extracted. It can't stay in the carpet for very long. So one problem could be if the equipment is not capable of extracting out that water sufficiently, or if you're not drying the carpet sufficiently. What could end up happening down the road is that the carpet fibers could be breaking down over time. Also, what could happen is that with the moisture buildup, you could even have a problem with mildew or just a bad odor in your carpet. So that's one of the most important things to a carpet cleaner is getting the carpets dry as fast as possible and not leaving moisture behind.
Okay. What about, are there any tips you could provide for property owners, property managers in selecting a carpet cleaner?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, one of the good questions that an owner or manager would want to ask would be in regards to the equipment that he uses. He wants to find out what kind of equipment that he's using, that he's going to use on his site. This way he can make a better informed decision. Carpet cleaning is not just the same across the board. There's such a variety of equipment and methods out there, and therefore this is going to affect the pricing as well. So in my case, for example, since I've invested in commercial equipment for the commercial sector, this allows me to bring my prices down on the square foot in comparison to somebody that would approach a commercial building with residential equipment, which has a higher overhead. So the commercial equipment has a lower overhead. It's going to benefit the owner or the manager financially. So that would be one of the questions that he would definitely want to ask. Tell me about the equipment that you use.
Got it. And is there any special training or how does a carpet cleaner become a carpet cleaner?
Yeah, that's an excellent question. There is training. There is certifications that you can acquire by taking classes and taking tests. Actually, locally here in Seattle, for example, there is a company called John Don. They're a major provider for the carpet cleaning and janitorial industry, but not only in materials, but they also provide classes. So locally in Seattle, I've taken a number of classes, and they range on all kinds of subjects. They can range on carpet cleaning, upholstery cleaning, disaster restoration, dealing with mold, dealing with fire damage, flood damage. They have classes on small businesses, specifically for the carpet cleaning industry. They're really interested in educating those who are involved in this kind of work so that we succeed. If we succeed, we, of course, help them to succeed. This company, John Don, is headquarters in Chicago. They have a number of locations around the country, but they are constantly running classes in which you can become certified through the IICRC program. And all these classes are in harmony with the Carpet and Rug Institute of America.
Got it. I want to shift gears here real quick. In your the type of work you do, you also mentioned the tile and grout. Is that something you run into on more of a residential side, or do you do a fair amount of that with multifamily and commercial as well?
With the tile and grout floor cleaning, I just focus on the commercial side.
Okay.
So far, I'm available for the residential side, but my focus on that is really on the commercial side. Yesterday, I was looking at a car dealership, actually, on approximately 4,000 square feet of tile and grout cleaning. So there's definitely good business to be made, good business to do in the tile and grout sector.
And it's been a while since I've thought about this, but do you then seal that after you've cleaned that? Is there a sealant on the grout? Is that the program?
Yeah, that's definitely something that is highly recommended because the process of cleaning the tile and grout is rather aggressive to remove all the oils in the soil from that. So afterwards, once it's dry, it is highly recommended to go back and seal the grout lines. And in so doing, you'd want to use, again, the right product and the right equipment. You don't want the seal going out all over the tiles. If it does go on the tiles, you definitely want to have it removed. You don't want it to dry on the tiles. But there's equipment that enables you to seal specifically the grout lines, which is cost effective and also saves time.
And how does that compare, or is it apples and oranges as far as cost of like cleaning carpet as opposed to cleaning grout? Is it comparable, or is it significantly different? Or?
There's a difference in price. The price per square foot on tile and grout is definitely higher than cleaning carpet. So
Right.
different equipment, the different kind of investment, but it's definitely higher price for tile and grout.
And frequency, different frequency for the cleaning of that as opposed to the carpet?
Yeah, it can depend on what the manager or the owner wants you to do, or how clean they want their place to look. Like the carpet, generally once a year would be recommended. But if it's a showroom, if it's something where you're going to be selling brand new automobiles, or if you have high traffic, it definitely would be recommended to clean it as needed, or to get into a program, perhaps once every few months or every 6 months, depending on the circumstances. But naturally, with anything, having a maintenance program in place is going to prolong the life of that product.
Got it. Let's go to the concrete, or the power washing. Do you do floors strictly, or do you do? I mean, just tell me a little bit about that.
I'll do a variety of different things for power washing. I'm equipped for things such as just a wooden deck or patio, siding, but I'm also equipped to handle driveways and sidewalks and concrete flooring. So different equipment for different kinds of situations. So the siding or patio would be more a traditional power washer that we might envision. It's good for detailed work and get in the corners, etc. For something larger like a driveway or sidewalks, I would use a machine that actually sits down on top of the driveway. It contains the water and it extracts the water simultaneously. So it's actually removing the water into a tank in the van out of the area, leaving the area looking very clean.
I know here in the Northwest we have that funny thing called moss that tends to grow at a rampant rate, especially right around now, and a little bit of warmer temperatures and all that. So I'm guessing that's pretty good business for you there.
Yeah, it is. It's pretty constant. I'm getting a number of calls for pressure washing for sure to clean that up. Yeah, and it's good because not only does it make a place look clean, it's also a matter of safety. It removes the slipperiness. So especially if you're a business owner, you have a commercial property, you're going to be concerned with those kinds of things, not just the appearance of the place, but also safety as well. You want the place to be safe and dry to walk on.
Got it. Josh, I have run down some of the questions I had. Is there something that we should have talked about that I didn't ask you? Is there something that you'd like to tell the listeners?
Yeah, well, this has been very interesting, and one thing that I consider when I look at a commercial place, for example, at the carpet in particular, and this might have to do with marketing as well, but it's the impact that a carpet has on us in our decision to buy or to do business with a company or a seller. Like for example, if we walk into a restaurant and it's spotlessly clean, the carpet is spotlessly clean, much like we're used to seeing in the medical industry. You walk into a dentist or a doctor's office, the carpet is spotlessly clean. If we walk into a restaurant and it looks like that, won't that affect our desire to eat the food or our opinion of the business or what the kitchen might look like? Whereas if it is stained, worn out, it doesn't look like it's been cleaned in a while, naturally that's going to affect our spending power towards that restaurant. Same thing if we walk into any kind of company. This seems to almost be happening within the first few seconds we walk in, almost on a subconscious level, but we make judgment calls. If we walk into a business and the carpet is spotless, we might not say to ourselves, that carpet is spotlessly clean, but it is affecting our decision. If the dentist's office is spotless, we're going to feel comfortable and we're going to have confidence. If it's not, it's going to affect us. So really, having a maintenance program for carpet cleaning can affect the business that a company makes. Because if it is spotless and clean, although the customers might not notice it, that's to say consciously, it is going to make them feel safer, more secure. They're going to be more inclined to spend. If it's not clean, it's definitely going to affect them in a negative way. So even though having a maintenance program may be low on the list for property managers or owners, it really needs to be an essential point on their list. Having a maintenance program will have a greater effect on the appearance of that location than any other single factor. Cleanliness is really key in any business, and having a carpet cleaning maintenance program in place is really key to that factor, and that's where I'm happy to help.
No, it's great. You don't think about that. Like you said, it's kind of like the bad news. You're always bad news travels faster than good news, and if you're repelled by the appearance of a place, you're probably not likely to stay and spend money, or you're probably likely to tell your friends or family about, oh my God, it was horrible in there, kind of thing. So that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
So good. So Josh, what is the best way for the listeners to get in touch with you if they have a question or would like to reach out to you?
Absolutely. Well, you can look me up online at Orca Group Northwest. You could call me on my cell number at 206-371-9632, or you could email me at Joshua@Orca Group Northwest, just NW for Northwest.com.
Got it. Well, Josh, thanks again for doing this today. I've enjoyed it, and let's plan on doing it again. And for our listeners, if you're a member of LinkedIn, be sure to check out our group, Commercial Real Estate Pro Network. It's a great place to network with commercial real estate professionals. Also, if you like this interview with Josh, be sure to let us know. You can go to iTunes and give us a 5-star review. That'd be great. And subscribe, and that way you can listen to all of the interviews anytime, anywhere you choose. We know you're busy. We thank you for making time for us today. We do appreciate you. And that's all we've got for you this week. Until next time, thanks for listening to Commercial Real Estate Pro Network's CREPN Radio.